and welcome to another episode of Mel's Genealogy Show. I'm your host, Melanie Reeve, and on today's episode we're going to be taking a look at an online family tree website called Genie.com, and we're going to specifically focus on what comes with the free version of the site. You got your Genie Basic account, which is free, and then there's a Genie Plus and Genie Pro. And Genie Pro isn't too bad. If you look at their site, they do tell you that if you join with a Genie Pro account, which gives you more features than the Basic or even the Plus, the Genie Pro account is either $9.95 a month if you sign up for 1 year, $7.95 a month for 2 years, and $6.95 a month if you sign up for 5 years. But for this episode, we're going to just look at what you can get for free with the site. And from what I gathered, looking at different forums, is that what you can and cannot get changes from time to time as far as with the free account. So as of the making of this video, we'll be able to see what you can actually do for free with the site. Okay, now when you first go to Genie.com, the front page that you see is going to basically be the sign up screen. And so we're going to go ahead and do that here. You'll select your gender, and then you'll put in your first name. You'll put in your last name as of now. You're not going to put in your maiden, if you're married, you're not going to put in your maiden name. You're going to put in your current last name, which in my case is the same, but for your purposes. And then you're going to put in the email address you want to use for the account. Now I've put a block over the email address on my email address because I don't want you guys to see it, because it's a personal email address. Once you've filled in that information, you're going to click Start My Family Tree, and it's going to take you to your home page or to your home tree. So click that. It'll say please wait. So when you first sign up for the account and you log in, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see your little profile you just created, and you didn't put that much information in. You just quick started it. You can add more information now, or you can add it later. You can also see that it has, you can add your mother and you can add your father. And then it's got, over here it's got, you can zoom out, zoom in, which will come in handy once your tree gets really big. And then also you can arrow over there and arrow over there and so on. Let's just click on edit, or you can click on, if you click on edit, this is the screen that you're going to get. And it's going to have your name. You can add in, if this is your married name, when you log, that's the first thing. When you sign up with your current name, not your birth name. And it's going to put your current name here, and you'll put your birth name here. If you've had other names in the past, you can put those names down here in the AKA, also known as section. Your gender, I've screened it off, but this is where my email would be. This is where I put in my occupation. And my current location, which is in Austin, Texas. I don't mind telling you guys that much. And then there's more options the more you scroll down. When you're done, you'll click Save and Close. And then when you're done, it'll bring you back here. Now it doesn't necessarily show everything here, but it'll bring you back here. Now you'll notice it has this little pop-up thing here. Now, so it gives you these three options. You have pending tree match, and it gives you a little cue to tell you what it means. If I had any pending record matches that they found, it would appear here. And then here is smart matches, which I think is a Genie.com related thing, or maybe it's a MyHeritage thing. Genie.com was acquired by MyHeritage in November of 2012, so I don't know which goes to that. However, these are paid. You have to pay for the account in order to get one of these. Get this. Otherwise, it doesn't come with your free version. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of add my mother. Now my mother is still living, so I'm going to put fake information for her so that I can keep her private but still be able to add my grandmother, because I cannot add my grandmother without first adding my mother. So I'm going to add my mother. Just going to name her living. And if I wanted to, I could put her email address in here. And then under more fields, if you click more fields when you're adding them, I can put her birth year, birthplace, and so on. And then I'm going to click add. And it asks if I want to put her email. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and check do not show this message again so that I don't continue to be asked if I want to email her, and then skip. And now when I'm looking at hers, now she has 3 arrows. Got a down arrow where I can add more children. So I could either add my sister here or I can add it from here. If I want, this is where I can add a spouse. This is good that you can actually, I've got where I could add my father, which I'm not going to do here, but where I could add my father, or I can also add additional spouses. This is good if a person in your profile has had more than one spouse, which could be for several reasons, either divorce or perhaps became widowed and then married again, things like that. So, and then you've got another arrow pointing up where you can click to add a parent, which is what we're going to do here. So I'm going to click that and it pops up. I can add a father or add a mother. Now since my grandmother is deceased, and I want to show you a little bit more about how to add information onto the profile, I want to use a deceased relative that I don't mind being a little more public. So we're going to put in my grandma. Her name was Lita, and we're going to go with the name she had at her death, which was her married name. And yes, I have my mother's maiden name as my name. When you click on deceased when adding her, it'll take away that email box. I can do, but if I click on more fields, it's going to go back to the default living. So I'm going to go to deceased again. And she died she was born September 6, 1933 in Lone Grove, Oklahoma. And when you do input the date, any dates in any date fields, they want you to do month, space, date, day, space, and then 4-digit year. Otherwise, it'll give you a weird error. We're not going to put that. And then she passed away on July the 27th, 2009 in Nelson, Nebraska. And that's all we're going to add here. I'm going to go ahead and click on add. And now, as you can see, now I've got myself, my living mother, and then my grandma. So I can either edit by clicking here, and I can put her birth surname here, which was Daniel. And if she had any other names, which she didn't, but if she did, I could put them here. And also I'm going to add her middle name here. And that's all I'll add here. So save and close. Now another thing I want to show you is about the sources. So I'm trying to keep it as quick as possible. So I'm going to click on her name to take me to her profile and scroll down a little bit. So now you can see that Melanie Reeve is my grandmother, because there's you, or that's me, I am you. Then my mother, and then her mother, Lita. So it has her birthday and her death. If you look at her timeline, It puts her birth, and then it puts her death. And then I didn't put my mother's birth year, but if I had, it would actually stick the birth of my mother in between, obviously between my grandmother's birth and her death. But what I wanted to show you, because I've already shown you basically the profile, what it looks like, I want to show you sources. So when you click on the Sources tab, if you don't have anything, this is what it looks like at first. But if you want to add a source, so I'm going to click on Add Source, and it's going to give me this pop-up. And I'm going to add a census record. I did find her in the 1940 census. So I'm going to click on Census. And then I'm going to click where it says Add a New Document. Now you get 3 different choices here. You can either upload the document if you have a file of the document saved, a file of the document saved on your computer. You can upload it here. I actually am going to use the link option. So where it says Post a New Link. Now I'm going to go over, I go to FamilySearch.org. And I want to view the image. I want to see if I can get just the image itself. Not all options on FamilySearch.org can give you the image. It depends on what FamilySearch.org has worked out with the holder of the documents, whether they can have the images or not, what information they can take off of them for their database or not, and that sort of thing. Alright, so here we have the actual document. I'm going to come up here and click on the URL and copy it. I Control-C to copy. I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to put the URL in here. And upload. Let's see what it does. Okay, well, it doesn't look like much, but this is what appeared. I don't know if it's still loading or not, but up here you can try to cite this source. So when I click on that, it shows what I uploaded. And I know that on that document it has her first name, it has her middle name, it has her last name, and it has her generally her place of birth. It has the state that she was born in. And it has her gender. That's basically what your census records are going to have. So I select all of that and then I click on Save. And now that that's added, I'm going to go ahead and X out of here. And my site is saved. I'm going to go ahead and X out of here. And it's going to take a moment and refresh my page. And now I've got this one source cited down here. So if I click on it, all it does is show me this blank screen, but if I visit the URL, it's going to open up a new tab and it'll load the actual thing. So, that's the sources option. So we're going to go back to my tree. And it says to activate my tree, I need to add 2 more people. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. See up here it says activate your tree by adding 2 more relatives. I'm going to arrow up to where I can do that. I'm going to add her father, Charles Isaac Daniel. He was born in 1896 in Johnson City, Texas. And he is deceased. And he died, I'm not going to go back and look at his profile for this, so I'm just going by memory. I think it was 1970 he died in Ardmore, Oklahoma. I think he was living in Ardmore. There it is. Alright. Add. And now it wants me to add one more, so I'm going to add his wife, my great-grandmother, Lily May. Daniel was her last name, but her birth name was Jones. She is deceased. And I'm just going to add her straight because I'm trying to get this done. Try not to run the video too long. Okay, it's still loading, but now I've got 5 people, which is what it wanted me to have to activate my profile. Looking at the menu up here real quick, if you click on family, you can either look at lists, which will list out all the profiles you've created, photos, videos, a calendar, map, statistics, timeline, and so on. Let's look at share your tree. And you can actually share your tree, either with family, through invite. You can link to your tree from, say, your blog or whatever. You can embed your tree, or you can export the tree as a GEDCOM export, which is good if you're wanting to upload your tree on a different site at any given point. Or if you just want to have a backup copy of your tree, you can export as a GEDCOM file, and it's used on several different online and I think even some offline family tree softwares. There's a research tab up here where you've got merges, discussion, projects, and so on. And then we're on the free trial version, but if you click on that, it will take you to where you can select a Genie membership option. So under the basic plan, which is the free version, what we're under now, you get 1 gig of media, meaning photos and videos, any photos, videos that you upload, a maximum of 1 gigabyte under the basic plan. You get basic support, which means access to the community support forums and knowledge base, and you can add your family tree. Under the plus option, which is $5, starting at $5 a month, again, it depends on how long of a contract you select. You might get it cheaper. Or it'll be $5 if you go with a 5-year plan probably, and then if you want a shorter time frame, it'll probably be a bit more. But you get an enhanced search where you can search over 1 million profiles to find possible relatives. You get 2 gigs of media space, a premium support, communicate directly with the expert staff, and also add your family tree. Or starting at $7.95 a month, you can get the pro version, where you get the tree matches. Those are those matches we were talking about that you said you had to pay for, but we weren't going to look at them. Tree matches, enhanced search, unlimited media. You can upload all the photos and videos you want. Premium support, and the family tree. So $7.95 a month really isn't all that bad. So that's all we're going to look at on Genie.com today. I have to say, I messed with it a little bit before starting the video, but as you could probably tell, this was I wanted it to be as close to what you would be experiencing trying it out for the first time as possible, so I didn't want to mess with it too much. My overall takeaway from Genie.com is that for the most part, it's not offering too much more than what I'm already getting on the site that I currently use. I currently use wikitree.com. But, I mean, it's good. It's a good basic genealogy site. I think if you're wanting to get really detailed with it, it may be of a hindrance to you. The site that I use The site that I use allows me to be a little more creative with how I put in my sources and that sort of thing. But there are some things I like about this a little bit better than Wikitree. I kind of like that it's a little more hands-on in a way, like you can move the tree around and things like that. You can't really do that on Wikitree. You have to click around to get to where you want to be. It's definitely more like Wikipedia than like this site. Genie.com is a little bit more like a picture. You're moving a picture around, while Wikitree is a little bit more of a text situation where you've got to click around to get to where you want to be. There's no like physical movement of the tree or anything like that. So like I say, it does depend on what would work better for you. But for me, I think for now anyway, I'm going to stick with Wikitree.com, if only for the fact that I'm much more familiar with it. But Genie.com is good. If you don't mind that at some point, if you're wanting to add videos and pictures, you'll have to sign up for one of their membership plans, which aren't, as far as a paid site goes, it's not too bad. And they are in association with MyHeritage, which I believe has several, plenty of records that it can access as well. So, I don't know. It's really up to you. I just wanted to give you a general rundown of what it's like to look at Genie.com for the first time. So I say if you're just getting started with the idea, especially if you've already got a GEDCOM file, you may be able to upload that. But in the meantime, if you're just getting started with building a family tree and are looking for a free site to use, this may be a good option for you. Just be sure when you are putting your family tree online, be sure to cite your sources, so that if any cousins come across it, they know that they can trust the information that you have, at least to the degree that you have cited your sources. So with that, thank you for joining us on today's episode of Mel's Genealogy Show, and have a wonderful day. Mel's Genealogy Show is a Monkey in My Tree production made available for free on YouTube.com. This show provides information for family historians to help them better research and document their ancestors and relatives. Some examples of information covered on this show include reviews of research tools and resources, interviews with other family historians and experts in the field of genealogy, and much, much more. If this is of interest to you, click the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, Monkey in My Tree, to follow each episode of Mel's Genealogy Show and other Monkey in My Tree programs. You can like us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/monkeyinmytree or follow us on Twitter at monkeyinmytree. Visit our website at monkeyinmytree.com for additional genealogy resources. And to help us continue to provide these resources for free, please visit our support page at monkeyinmytree.com/support.